Alright guys, thanks for tuning in for another gun review here. This is little Raven 25, to be exact. It's a model P25. How I came across this gun was it was actually a family member's firearm. They passed away. Long story short, they was going through his stuff, found it, offered it to me. I gave them a ridiculous low price. They just wanted it out of their house. I gave 40 bucks for it. It came with the gun, these two magazines, a cheap leather holster, which I gave to somebody else, and a half-shot box of Remington just ball ammo that was actually bought with the gun back in 1982, to be exact. And the ammo, like I said, was bought with the gun. It shot about half the rounds through it. She said that he bought it, came home, loaded it, shot a couple times off the front porch. Long story short, basically it never got shot again. So when I got it, it had 30-some years of dried gunpowder in it. So it was quite a task to get that out of there. But I did. I got it all cleaned up. I can say Frog Lube is an awesome product. It really did a good job cleaning it out, softened it up real well, and then also just what it does afterwards, making everything slick. These guns, I don't really recommend running oil in them, so the Frog Lube, treating it, and then basically running it dry afterwards really helps. So, normal gun review topics here is first one we're going to go over is usage. CCW, home defense, backup, or bug out. Well, CCW, if you had no other choice. If this is all you had, yes. And I will go over things to improve that. If this is what you have, I will go over how to get the most out of your Raven. Home defense, no way. Not unless it's all you had. If it's all you had, well, it's better than a pointy stick. Backup, yeah, I would say definitely a backup gun. Glove box gun. Maybe put it in your bag or something, in your get home bag. Anything's, a gun that actually works is better than, well, point stick. Bug out, not really. If I had room to take it with me, maybe. Would I make room to take it? No, I'd probably just leave it behind. Just because of the ammo and everything, hard to find. But if I had the extra room in my pack, yeah, I'd consider it. Let's see, firepower. Well, it's 25. Okay. It's not a man stopper or anything of that nature, but I'll keep going back to it. It's better than a pointy stick. I've watched some ballistic testing on it, and as long as you're running a full metal jacket, they're looking to get an average between 12 to 13 inches through ballistic gel. What it'll do through heavy denim, I don't know, but if it's what you had, it's what you have. It very well could save your life. Ergonomics, I'm not going to go over that. There's no point in talking about ergonomics. Field strip's relatively easy. Always want to make sure gun's easy, or the gun is clear. There's nothing in the magazine. Check it again, check it again. Okay, this particular gun, you're going to need to point safe direction. Dry fire. This back here is your retainer. You can use a tool, ink pen. I've seen people use basically anything that you have that you can jam this with is going to field strip it. But honestly, you could just put your finger in there, pull up, keep your finger over the back of this so it don't go flying, and there you go. It's your basic field strip. Function test. Okay. Accessories, there is none. You know, you can get grips, different grips and stuff like that, but as far as like holsters, I mean, there's no custom Kydex guys making holsters or anything like that. The sights are, you know, fixed to the barrel. You're not going to be able to do anything as far as night sights or anything like that. Reliability. Actually, you know what? You know, I mean, I know these guns were what they were, but out of all of the Saturday night specials, you know, the Sundances and the Lorsons and the Jennings, you know, the Ravens, the first ones, you know, and this is a, you're not going to be able to see. It's a P25, and how you can usually tell is this has a lot, like the thick serrations back here. The MP25s is a bunch of little lines, and then they changed the safety to flip up and lock into the frame. Even them, the Raven, you know, when he started his company, I don't think that he intended to be the junk gun Saturday night special. You know what I mean? The evil, hated gun. Yeah, I think he was just trying to make a decent little gun, you know, for women and men out there that just didn't have a lot of money. Guns get into the wrong hands and they get a bad name. And that's what happened to this company. Durability. You know, as odd as it sounds, my first one that I had, and I got 2 videos on it, I ended up ruining that gun. I had a squid load. I didn't know I had a squid load. There was basically a bullet in the barrel, and it was in far enough to where I could chamber another round. The gun went bang, and I finished the whole magazine. And to my surprise, it actually bulged the barrel, and in order for the slide to go around that bulge in the barrel, it cracked it here, and then on the slide part, it cracked it up and around here and up and around here. But the goddamn thing ran. So basically the first shot bulged it and cracked the slide. And I was still able to finish my 6 that I had into the magazine. So, with all in all said, if that in that particular instance, I still would have been in the fight. Okay? And like I said, to my surprise, the next day I went to go clean it, and there was a freaking bulge in the barrel. So yeah, at least it held up. Plus 25 auto, there's not much pressure. If it would have been a 380 or something or up, it probably would have been a little pipe bomb. Overall value, I'm going to say yeah, you know, a good overall value. Nowadays, with the bad name that they have, you can jump into one of these at a gun show for, you know, 60, 80. I wouldn't go, you know, 100 would be my cutoff. And that would be one that was in a really, really, really good shape. But you can jump into one of these, and I'm going to go over how you rebuild them with parts, and it's cheap. And basically you have a brand new gun again. And that's basically it for the review. All in all, decent little gun. It gets thumbs up in my book. So these guns, if you know the history of these guns, you know that Phoenix Arms bought this company. Well, change of hands basically to avoid lawsuits is what roundabout is what happened. Okay, well, they actually produced the same gun, Raven model. They changed it to it was a Phoenix Arms Raven model. It was the same damn gun. Okay, the same molds, everything that was used to make this gun, Phoenix had and was producing this gun. Well, they eventually quit producing it. I think it was to get out of this, because everybody knows this gun. It's as far as the view on this gun, everybody knows when they see this what it is. So I think that's why they dropped it. And they're still making guns. They got the little HP22 and the little HP25, but they look different. So, but anyway, Phoenix, before they dropped the line off, they cranked out a bunch of parts. And like the Recoil Springs, I'm pretty sure is the same Recoil Springs that they use in their new guns. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure it is. So, if you look here, Phoenix Arms, okay, I bought a new firing pin, a new magazine, and a pack of recoil springs. It does not say on here what I paid, but I'll tell you what I paid. It was $10 a firing pin, $10 a firing pin, $10 for the magazine, and like $5 and some change for the recoil springs. And there's 5 in a pack. If you're going to shoot this gun or depend on it, I'm going to highly recommend that you call them. When you call them, they're going to ask you serial number. And when you tell them, you know, basically they're going to tell you, well, that serial number don't register in our database. Basically, you tell them you're on by the parts and you know you're doing this at your own risk. Liability issues, they can't tell you that it's going to fit or work or function because it's not a Phoenix, okay? But it's the same gun. So basically, what I have here is 5 brand new firing or recoil springs. And get them out. Come on, you cocksuckers. I found sometimes if you cuss at things, it works. Okay, so basically, you're going to get 5 recoil springs. I have one already installed in the gun. Here's the original one. And so to the right, here, I'll do it this way. Okay, so this one is the original one that came out of the gun. This one is part of the packet of 5 that I bought, and as you can tell, it is clearly longer. Now the coils isn't as thick as these ones. It's a thinner wire, but it seems to be better. It's an upgrade, I will tell you that. I'm usually not for the thinner materials and stuff, but with adding this, it does help with your fail-to-go and battery, I believe. So they figured something out and they changed it once they had a hold of the gun. Plus, like I said, I think this is the spring that goes in the HP25 and HP22. They're clearly not going to admit to it, but I believe it is. So, recoil springs. And then here's the firing pin. I haven't even opened it up. I put a little oil in there in the baggie. It's marked 104 from them. But here's the firing pin for the Raven. And I can tell you from personal experiences, once this back part breaks off, the front's not too far away. The one that's in here right now is the original one. It's broke off. So this don't have too much longer to go on the front. But this thing lives in the safe. I'm going to teach my 6-year-old here in maybe a year or so when he's ready for pistol shooting. I'm going to start him out with this. So that's why I wanted the extra parts, because he's going to be shooting probably the heck out of it. And then also, when he gets older, I'm going to give it to him. It was his great-grandpa's. It's not worth a lot, but it might be to him. And then here is the magazine. And you're not going to be able to see. I'm using my phone, so bear with me. But basically it says Phoenix Arms Raven model 6-round 25 ACP, and then on this side it has a safety warning: the gun will fire with magazine out. And as you can see, here's the original magazines. As you can see, same magazine, same exact. Okay, and it does fit. And it works. I've test fired it. So if you depend on this for any kind of defense, I'm going to tell you to do these upgrades. I've been running this Fiocchi through it, and I like this ammo. I had some other stuff at the shop. But I like this ammo because it's got a real nice crimp here and not a sharp edge, so I think it helps with the feeding with not being a sharp edge on it. And also it seems to be a little more powerful than the Winchesters that I was running prior to this. So gunsmithing on this. Upgrades. What you're going to want to do, first thing I'm going to tell you to do, you're going to want to take these screws out of the grips. Go to your local hardware store, Ace, or Do It Center, or somewhere of that nature where they have you know, plenty of screws. It's going to be a 6/32 screw. The head's not really going to matter too much if it's a Phillips or it's a flathead. As you see, I put flatheads in there, or Phillips in there. It was flatheads. But basically why you're going to want to remove this is because the OEM screws only get like 2 turns into the frame, and eventually will pull out and will strip those two threads out of the frame, and you'll eventually have to do this anyway. And this side is critical to the gun functioning because you got your sear, your cam arm that comes down, and your trigger bar that meet up here, and this grip is very important that it stays where it's at in order for your trigger to actually function. It's a 6/32 screw. You're going to have to buy it. It's going to be big. You're going to have to cut it off with a Dremel, and you're going to have to just keep putting it in, checking, pulling it back out, grinding it down until you get as many turns all the way through the frame that you can, and your magazine is not causing any resistance to your magazine. Okay, second, I'm going to go ahead and break this down. Okay, so Extractor. The Extractors are not perfect on these guns. They were stamped out guns, okay? Stamped out parts. So, first thing I want to tell you, if you're looking at the gun straight on like this, okay, you're looking at it like that, okay? I drew up some pictures, ignore my drawings. I did it the best that I could. When you first look at yours, this is what it's going to look like. The Extractor, it's going to have a squared off edge. Well, when you put an empty casing underneath your Extractor, it's only contacting in one area, and that's right in the center. What I did when I took mine out, I took a round head file and hit that and rounded it so that I get the whole Extractor is in contact with the roundness of the rim and the extracting point of your casing. So that way it's got a good positive connection to the Extractor. Another thing, if this is your Extractor and you're looking at the gun like this and you pull that Extractor out, one thing that I did that I felt was very important, I drew dotted lines to simulate the material that I removed. And I removed that so that I would get more positive spring and down onto the Extractor, because before when I put a casing up underneath the Extractor did not move. It was just barely holding on to that casing. You should have 30 thousandths of spring movement with your Extractor when you put a casing up underneath of it. Another thing you're going to want to make sure, mine didn't, but you're going to want to check from looking at it from the side, you're going to want to make sure that this part of your casing is not touching the front part of your Extractor. If it is, you will have to remove a little bit of material here so that it's not actually coming in contact. The only part coming in contact should be back here, the hook. Okay, and that part you want sharp. You want it sharp. You don't want it dull, you don't want it deburred, you want it as sharp and as rough edged as you can get. And that's basically it, guys. You know, if you have one of these guns and you like to shoot it and you like to have fun with it, these are the things that I'm going to recommend that you do. And yeah, as you see, it's already broke off. I've heard, I haven't really noticed a difference, but I've heard that by breaking that off, actually the gun will run better. I can't vouch for that. I haven't really seen a difference. From my experiences, these guns run really good. As long as you keep them clean. That circle part there where the firing pin is poking out, that part you want to have clean. You cannot have any crud build up in that circle at all, because your casing is depending on that area to set flush there. So that area, keep clean. Other than that, it's a blowback design. There's a lot of slop in the slide in the frame. A little bit of dirt, not going to hurt. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that might have helped you a little bit. If not, maybe a little interesting. I want to thank all the people that has subscribed to my channel and that is supporting my Facebook page. I want to thank you guys, and also for if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do, and hit the thumbs up, all the good stuff. So stay safe, and thanks for watching.